Hey there, good man fam. You know, one of the worst things to happen to modern females was social media, but probably not for the reasons you think. It turns out that that's one of the best things to happen for women. Now, I know you all are like, how the freak, what? No, no, really. Because what social media did was it allowed men to be able to see all of the individual females who were modern females, modern women, or traditional women. And so the modern females are being separated completely from the women. But here's the thing, it's been a catch 22 for the modern females because what they get from it, oh man, it is overwhelming. They make so much money from getting guys who really don't get females or who are just not confident to just give them any and everything. On the flip side, they also get shown to the world for who they actually are. And here's the funny thing. When females, I talked about this before, used to have these conversations that they now have on social media, those conversations were happening inside of their homes. They were having girls' nights where they would all get dressed up in onesies or whatever, pajamas. They would eat Haagen-Dazs ice cream and watch rom-coms and cry together and talk about boys and all of that stuff. And they would talk about all the crazy things that they did and what they wanted to do and how they were going to do with boys manipulation-wise. But guess what? There were no boys in the room. We didn't know what was going on. This is why they were able to get husbands who would find out later that they're not who they thought they were. It's because they would tell the truth to their girls about who they were in those girls' nights, but they would not reveal that in public that often. Well, guess what? Why do you think that is? It was because revealing that in public would make it to where they would have less likely a chance for somebody to take them seriously, which normally ends up in marriage with kids and a family. They wanted that, so they had to protect their secret identity. And guess what happened? Boom. Here comes social media. And social media said, that dopamine hit that you need, I'll give it to you times 1,000,000. And they looked around and was like, I'll buy that for $1. Shout out to my old school RoboCop fans. And what happened? All of a sudden, they moved that girls' night conversation that used to be in the living room to an international stage. And they didn't even think about the fact that men have social media accounts too.
Uh-oh, retard alert.
So men went from not knowing anything about the girls' nights information in the living rooms to being digital flies on their wall. Digital flies on their wall. So now men are watching them in these digital living rooms where they think that when they do a TikTok that they're only talking to their 70,000 followers, but they don't understand that those 70,000 followers aren't all females. You have males who are sitting there looking like, wait, this is what chicks be doing? How do you think men found out about the foodie calls? It's because of these social media accounts. But here's the thing, stay with me here, because I'm going somewhere with this. Here's the thing. They started telling all the things that they used to tell in the girls' nights in the living rooms. And what happened? Part of what they used to tell is how they manipulated men. Remember I mentioned that earlier. And one of the manipulations is tears. Yeah, tears. Females use tears as a weapon. When they get put into a corner and they know it's a corner out of which they cannot get unscathed, what do? They pull out their version of a Hail Mary, which is, I'm going to try to push the male empathy button that's built inside of men for females, a figurative emotional button. And so they say, what makes men act a certain way? Well, they literally did a study on this to where they collected female tears. And when the men sniffed the tears versus the control, the males who sniffed the tears had a significant decrease in their, I think it was their testosterone or their adrenaline or something like that. It decreased because this is a biological thing for men when they see females crying. So when they smelled them crying, literally the tears, the actual tears, it was a wrap. So females know this. So they use that to their advantage for years. But here's what happened. When they showed that on social media and they started telling each other on social media the same thing they were saying in the confines of the living room where nobody could see, now men, even though they have that visceral reaction of, oh, shoot, a chick is crying initially, they also right after that said, whoa, wait a minute. This is part of that manipulation tactic about which they were speaking. Now, it could or couldn't be, but it's the fact that he knows that that happens now, men just around the world. So now they become skeptical. That was the first wave. The second wave turned men's emotions off dang near to those tears. So now it's not a visceral, oh my goodness, a female's crying, and then well, wait a minute. Is this one of those manipulation things? To, oh, some chick crying, she lying. No, man, nope, you're not gonna use that. It's now instantly a man thinking, no, I don't trust that. There was no step 1 and 2 anymore. Men jump straight to the final step, which is, I don't believe you. Sometimes nowadays, I've seen it. It actually happens with me. When I see a chick now crying in a conversation or whatever, the minute she starts crying, I roll my eyes literally in the house like, oh, whatever. What the freak ever, nobody cares. No, you're not going to do that. It's an instant reaction of, no, I'm not going to fall for it. Instantly. It's the literal opposite of what's been built in us for millennia. Why is that? Because females do this one thing for so long, and what has happened is it has caused them this humongous problem that when you abuse your power for so long, people tend to not believe you anymore.